Hello dear friends, welcome to my video. In this video I'm going to take you back to 1999, the golden year of cinema. So if you're ready, come with me. First of all, I would like to talk about why 1999 is so important for the history of cinema and why it is called the golden year of cinema. After all, 99 was like a peak not only for cinema but also for human civilization. In these years, the world seemed to have found a little bit of peace. The world population was 6 billion. Technology, science and industry were flourishing. Great breakthroughs were taking place and humanity was preparing for the second millennium. Of course, we cannot attribute all this to a single year. It was the sum total of all the achievements of the previous 100 years, the 20th century. Shall we take a very quick retrospective of the 20th century? The first transoceanic radio broadcast was made. The Wright brothers invented the airplane. Albert Einstein announced the theory of relativity. Paul Cornu invented the helicopter. The first telephone call was made between New York and San Francisco. Edwin Hubble announced that he had discovered galaxies other than the Milky Way. Pluto is discovered. The distance between the Earth and the Moon was measured using radio waves. Yuri Gagarin became the first man in space and the space age began. The world's first cell phone call is made. Dolly the sheep became the first mammal to be successfully cloned, and so on and so forth. Of course, there have been many tragedies, wars and destruction during this time. But remember what one of the most fundamental features of our simulation is that we can construct our reality through pain and misery. In the 1960s, cinema was undergoing radical changes for social reasons. This movement, led by filmmakers such as Arthur Penn, Stanley Kubrick, Dennis Hopper, was quite different from the usual Hollywood productions. By the 70s, great directors such as Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese had graduated from film schools and started to produce their flashy productions. In the 80s, cinema was also enriched with independent productions, and it grew stronger with directors such as the Coen brothers, Spike Lee, David Lynch. The period in which the sum of all these processes would be transferred to cinema in the most efficient way was the 10-year period between the 90s and the millennium. Many of the films released in these years are among the touchstone films of cinema. It was a great decade for cinema, with successful directors doing their best work. It was a time when directors were more daring and did not make the mistakes of today, such as giving the audience what they want to see on the screen and producing box office-oriented films. 99 is a special year when many of these films came together, but we cannot ignore the great films made in the previous 9 years. Now that we understand the importance of this period for cinema, and why the films that came into being during this period were so good, we can move on to the period films I have listed for you. If you are old enough, these films I am going to talk about will probably be the ones that you already know, remember, and that have become legendary films in your memories. However, I would like to ask my young friends who have not seen any of these films to watch them at least once and try to understand the cinema of that period, because many of these films contained important questions, inquiries, and emotions for humanity. The Matrix, at a time when awakening movies were on the rise, took the flag of its predecessors to the highest heights and deeply affected an entire cinema audience and pushed them to great questioning. This series of 3 movies will always live in our hearts like a golden crown at the beginning of the golden year of cinema, no matter how much time has passed. Let's move on to another 99 movies. David Fincher's magnum opus, Fight Club, a movie that many of us watched in our adolescence thinking it was a fight movie because of the title. But after watching it, we were stunned, surprised, our brains liquefied and flowed out of our ears. The movie that is the creator of many iconic scenes and memorable lines in cinema. Edward Norton and Brad Pitt share one of the best lead roles of all time in this movie. The unforgettable movie character they created together, Tyler Durden. I mean, these movies are such movies that they are not even recommended now. You don't ask someone if they've seen Fight Club or ask them to watch it. If they like movies, they should have already seen it, or they should find it, discover it, and watch it. If I continue by explaining why these movies are legendary productions one by one, we will not finish the video. I could talk about Fight Club for 3 hours. That's why I have to mention these movies briefly. The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Shyamalan is an interesting director. He made some very successful movies in those years, but then he went downhill. The Last Airbender was the last one he made. Or rather, he couldn't make it, he messed it up. They ruined a good story. After that, he always made bad movies. But all that aside, The Sixth Sense alone is more than enough for this director. It is one of the films where the concept of cinema called twist is felt most intensely. Bruce Willis really did it justice in this movie. The Green Mile. One of the harsh productions of '99, it's a movie that you will watch with very shocking and over-the-top emotions. The atmosphere and ambience of the movie, combined with the top-notch acting performances of Tom Hanks and Michael Clarke Duncan, two of my favorite actors, this movie drags the viewer into an intense emotional discharge. American Beauty. A Sam Mendes movie with 5 Oscars. It is about some crises and breakdowns in a family, which is the American version of what we call the middle-class family structure. It is a movie that can be enjoyed in terms of cinematography with the exquisite acting performance of Kevin Spacey, but it is a melancholic movie that can be harmful to the mental health of sensitive and especially unhappy people. Eyes Wide Shut. If asked which is Stanley Kubrick's best movie, most people would probably say The Shining, and they are right. It's a great movie. A true icon of cinema. But for me, Kubrick's best movie is Eyes Wide Shut. In this movie, Kubrick shows in a magnificent way what a master of suspense he is. Eyes Wide Shut, every scene of which is like a work of art, stars Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. There are also many conspiracy theories about the movie Eyes Wide Shut. Kubrick was killed by the organization for exposing structures such as the Illuminati in this film, etc. The 13th Floor. If there was no Matrix movie, we would probably be talking about this movie instead. This movie, which tells a story similar to the story told by The Matrix in a different way, is among the 99 movies that must be watched, even though it is a little bit on the sidelines with the misfortune of being released in the same year as The Matrix. Dogma. A very good fantasy comedy movie starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. It is a movie that deals with the Christian faith with subtle humor and a bit of sarcasm. This movie was censored in some countries. Let's go a little fast and end the list, because I'll probably talk about the movies I've included in this video more extensively in the future. So let this video be a little more introductory. Here are the other 99 movies I will include in the list. Being John Malkovich, The Mummy, The Talented Mr. Ripley, Man on the Moon, Boys Don't Cry, Three Kings, The Thin Red Line, Magnolia, Sleepy Hollow, The Boondock Saints, The Insider. By the way, according to some authorities, the golden year of cinema is 94, not 99. Personally, I think it is 99, but 94 really competes with 99 in this regard. 94 is also a very special year for cinema. One of the most important reasons for this opinion is that the best movie in the history of cinema is still 94's The Shawshank Redemption. With a record score of 9.3, it hasn't left the leadership for a long time and it doesn't look like it will. Does it deserve it? I think yes. I can confidently call The Shawshank Redemption the best movie in the history of cinema. When we look at other 94 movies, for example, the legendary movie Pulp Fiction, which is ranked 8th on IMDb, there are really legendary productions such as another exquisite 94 movie Forrest Gump, Leon, The Crow, The Mask. In addition, we should not forget 96's The Bandit, 97's Innocence, and 98's On Board, which are the pearls of Turkish cinema. All the movies I listed in this video are very valuable productions for cinema. Of course, there are hundreds of other legendary films, but I wanted to draw attention to the specialty of the years like 94-99 in terms of cinema with this video. If you haven't seen any of these movies, you can watch these movies with the guarantee of time that will not be wasted. I'm Eonvoice. See you in my next video. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.